Hey, I wanted to give my quick review on Planet of the Apes. Right away, I'd like to say it's a solid 7.5, 8 out of 10 movie. It's always great to go back to the theaters these days and see a movie, so the experience is pretty enhanced. Just like when I saw Dune 2, I would give that experience an 11 out of 10. But just probably watching it at home, I don't know, probably wouldn't be as good. Planet of the Apes is a solid, good movie, and that's hard to come by these days. Spoiler alert, I'm going to get into it a little bit, but basically, we follow this protagonist, Noah. He's like the new Caesar guy that we follow, except he's a younger, more naive, and simplified version of Caesar. Caesar is a very complex character, whereas Noah is born into a world that is already laid before him, um, rather than Caesar, way more complex. He's in the human world, and all of a sudden he gets brain power and has to figure out how to manage that and and build and maintain an ape society, and while at the same time dealing with the morality of dealing with the humans. Noah is more like born into a tribe and just wants to impress his parents and learn the ways of his tribe and go forward from there, which the movie does get into very rapidly. It's nice that it started out at this simplified pace where we're with Noah and we're with his friends, which is honestly the best part of the movie is Noah being with his friends, which I know a lot of YouTubers have already commented on this, but I wish that there was more of him interacting with his friends because they all have like distinct personalities. The female, I forget her name, and Anaya, the other male chimp in the friend group, and Noah. Noah's like the common protagonist personality that's balanced and a leader in a way, or has the potential to become a leader. Anaya is the funny, pretty skittish, but at the same time loyal friend. And the female chimp is the caring and more, she's a very rational personality, caring and nurturing personality. I wish there was more of this. There's so much to this movie. It's a 2.5 hour movie. But for some reason, the producers and the director felt that they had to insert a human into the mix like they do in all the movies. But for this one, it really felt kind of forced. I think that May, the human in this movie, is the worst character by far. She's unlikable, she's unrealistic, and I can get into that in a minute. But first, I want to get into after Noah and his friends have their chapter in the beginning. Then the tribe experiences a raid from a different tribe that is bad or evil or whatever. The motivations behind capturing the girl becomes kind of clear later because of what she knows. But then, it doesn't really get into detail why this tribe is evil or why they just all of a sudden set this other peaceful eagle tribe on fire that Noah is a part of, kills his father, and sets him on his journey of revenge. Along the way, he meets probably the best character, Raka, who also portrays the message that is the most interesting part in the movie, and that is the continuation of Caesar's philosophy. He's like a knowledgeable orangutan, which I like that the series plays that orangutans are chill and knowledgeable. So Raka plays this role very well, and he's quite funny, which I really like. But again, like the movie does with Noah's friends, it moves on very quickly from Raqqa, and we don't really see enough of the best of the movie, which is Noah's friends and interacting with his friends, and Raqqa, who's a very interesting character. He's funny and he knows a lot and he believes a lot. He's a faithful orangutan. He believes in the true philosophy of Caesar. And why that is the most interesting part of the movie is because it also leads into Proximus, who is the antagonist, who is delivered to us later in the movie. But once we get to know him, he's very interesting. He's the second best character in the movie, in my opinion. For a lot of people, he's the best, and I can't disagree with that opinion. I just think that we don't see enough of him. We actually see more of Raqqa and his personality and why he believes what he believes more than Proximus, even though it's very concrete why he's doing what he's doing, and he has like layers of depths that there's more there for sure, but we don't really get into it. So the reason that the Caesar philosophy is very interesting going into Proximus is because Proximus takes that philosophy and he skews it. It's been like 300 years since Caesar, so it makes sense that their leader and the story that he possessed can get skewed into and manipulated into doing and philosophizing and instructing in ways that a Proximus would want. This is very akin to human behavior and how we kind of take heroic people and stories, and based on who we are as people, we take that and we push it into our own belief and way of thinking. And that's kind of what Proximus does. He's like this person, or he has this personality that he's like all knowing, and he's like the next Caesar, and he knows what to do next. But deep down, he also knows that he is not Caesar, and that he's pushing forward an agenda that he believes to be true, rather than really deeply thinking about what Caesar wanted, which someone like Raqqa has done. It's a story of, it's one we have heard before, of power and ambition and the different ways in which humans interact, except displayed through apes. Which is why I really don't think we needed a human in this story. The apes and the CGI behind it is so realistic and beautiful that we can see their emotions. They're very anthropomorphic, and that's the best part of the movie, is getting into these different personalities while looking at apes. And that's probably the coolest part of the series. The other movies, like the humans in it, were fine. This movie just didn't need it. Like, we could have had like moments, quick little moments of May, that, okay, we get it. She's one of the few humans that can talk, and we that's the whole point of her is to, okay, we see that there's still humans that can talk, even though a large majority of them are losing that ability and becoming dumber or something, which we see in a scene where there's like a whole group of them and they're kind of like cavemen drinking out of water. But I think like there's this thing in Hollywood where we need like a human so that people can feel more relatable to the movie or something. I felt relatable to the movie enough, and more so with the apes than May at all. She was very unlikable in my opinion. The actress played her fine, but she was just, there was a lot of moments where she was just like staring, and like I was like, what are you thinking? Like, say something. And because I know she has the ability to talk, but there was a lot of moments where she was just not really saying much, and I wish she would say more and kind of interact better with Noah, the main protagonist, because Noah was like very interesting and wanting to get to know her a little bit. Maybe he could have spoke more to her, but there was like these like potential interactions with them that could have gone further and deeper. So, that's why I'm giving this movie a 7.5, 8 out of 10. I enjoyed the movie a lot. I think a lot of people will. I love like deep lore movies and philosophical movies, and it's a beautiful movie. It has great action sequences, and it has likable characters with distinct personalities, and that's kind of all you can ask for in modern day cinema. Granted, people now, their attention spans aren't that good because of cell phones, smartphones, social media. And this movie kind of doesn't care, which I appreciate it as well. It has long kind of walking scenes like Lord of the Rings does, where they're walking through, like, at first, like, I didn't realize, like, there was a jungle scene with like tall structures with like trees wrapped around them and vines and stuff. And I was like, oh, like this looks like Pandora from Avatar. But then I'm like, oh yeah, these are buildings or ex buildings. And then there's like rusted huge boats that are really cool to look at and stuff like that. So I feel like I've said a lot of good about the movie. Again, my worst thing was like May. Like, she's just unlikable, and she doesn't have to be like forced into the movie. I wish that like Noah's friends took on more of a role in the movie rather than her. They tried to make her like likable, like she's like defending humans, but the way she does it is she like backstabs like a bunch of people along the way, and she shoots and kills like one of the chimps for kind of good reason. But like, I don't know. And she's unrealistic. Like, she knows where every single thing is in this huge like armory at the end. And maybe she is that knowledgeable. Like, that was her goal, was to get in there. But it's like, okay, she doesn't seem that old and like formidable. Like, but it's Hollywood, Hollywood tends to do these things. And even at the end, when it showed like the only talking humans left or whatever in the area that she goes back to, it's like, all right, little diversity representation here. I see what you're doing. Like, the first person that comes out in a hazmat suit and greets her is like an Asian lady, which like could totally happen, but on a more realistic, and then they go inside, and then it's like 90% women, and then like one like guy. Like it okay, like maybe like those are the only people that can talk, or like just like these women, like whatever. But it's like common like theme in Hollywood these days. It's fine. Who cares? I give the movie a 7.5, 8 out of 10. Solid movie. I'd recommend it. Little flaws here and there. Besides May, I'd probably say just the lack of depth within interesting characters and themes. Like, it has to play out as a movie, so I understand that it has to move on to the next thing, and it actually, in my opinion, paces pretty well. There were two moments watching the movie where I looked down and I was like, all right, I saw the movie at like 9:50 at night, so I was kind of tired. But like, there were like two times where I was like, all right, like, let's move on. I was getting kind of bored. But other than that, like, the movie moves on to the next thing pretty well. I just wish that it substituted a few things here and there for better material. But maybe that's being nitpicky. I don't know. Go see it.